metal hails from Finland. This time we have an American band doing black metal and beyond. Now, older followers might actually remember the days when Satyr of Satyricon was pretty much announcing how he takes black metal to America, forgetting that already back in the 90s, before even that, there were bands that did black metal. One of those early birds, maybe not known to Satyricon, is the band called T.O.M.B with dots, T.O.M.B, which is here with the sixth album Terror Winds now. This is a curious case because it's not fully a black metal band, not full-fledged in the sense of, doing just black metal and nothing else, like it seems to be the case, fortunately for those fans, by so many bands. This is a band or orchestra that has incorporated elements of various kinds into their music throughout the years. Hence, they are listed as on Metal Archive site as black metal and beyond. I will soon show to you. And what this in essence means that they have done albums which are not even close to being black metal. Not in the pure sense of black metal anyway. And here you have their first album of 2022, released on 2nd of December, so very fresh from the oven still. This is now throughout Dark Essence Records Norway. Well, home of Second Wave Black Metal if you want to know why. But here indeed, it shows interesting information about the band in question, industrial/noise/black metal. I was actually talking to my colleague about this, who reviewed their album in 2016. Well, I guess the review came out a little bit later, but Fury Nocturnus, based on his review, is exactly nothing like typical black metal. In fact, it's quite something different. Now, I must say I haven't heard the previous albums except Thin the Whale 2 years ago, and it was crap. Some kind of avant-garde-ish attempt to do somewhat of a black metal kind of related music. And now things have changed. Now, this is an interesting band also because it has been here for over 20 years, closer to 25 by now. And during those times, the band has really changed its style. For example, this one is not like the before album, Thin the Whale, nor that is closer to Fury Nocturnus. So we could only guess how much the band has changed throughout the years overall. But we're not here to talk about the whole discography. We're here focusing on this new album, which is only 34 minutes, give or take, in total length, featuring 6 tracks. 3 short ones, couple of mid ones, and then one lengthier one. This is a curious case because in essence this is somewhat of a raw black metal. That is, if you only pay attention to the production. Everything here sounds like it was recorded maybe with an iPad or a smartphone live on rehearsal room. The thing here is, I've done that kind of recording for demo purposes only with my own band, so I pretty much know how it sounds when you just live record everything using a microphone off the phone or whatever, and that's when you get the results of being very, very lo-fi demo-like recording. I mean, you can pretty much listen to the songs, but that doesn't really mean that the sound, the production quality is really good. That is kind of a given. Duh. Thing here is, I don't know why this band decided to go this way, because this sounds like you're going back to 1991 or so, when a lot of bands didn't really have a budget, nor the equipment or the skill to record worthwhile recording. That is, having, powerful guitars, pounding drums, and all that stuff. Now, of course, sometimes this is lack of equipment, skill, and budget, but more often, these days at least, a lot of bands opt going for raw end of production and kind of a lo-fi intentionally. Sometimes it's really harming the album like it is here, and sometimes it doesn't really matter. It's just to kind of cover up the playing mistakes and lack of good riffs. I wouldn't say as much goes as far with this album, because indeed, T.O.M.B actually has variety of interesting riffs going more on the raw end of black metal, but also quite melodic parts. Actually, so far to the melodic segment that it actually reminds me a lot of Swedish takes on black metal, with also Norway in my mind. But the truth is, this kind of a lo-fi attempt to record an album here actually hurts the whole deal here. The thing here is, with melodies you kind of want to have somewhat crispier and cleaner sound so that the actual guitars sound powerful, or at least they sound like it's not some bitch-ass kid whining in the corner, which is unfortunately the case here. Not only the guitars, which sound like demo guitars, like, hey, these are the riffs so you can pound the drums and we'll just later on fade them and replace them with real guitars. The drums are in the mix too much on the forefront. That is, whenever the tempo kind of picks up and the album starts going faster with its songs, it's more like the guitars kind of fade in the background. And you're then just listening to this drumming, which also lacks the pounding element, the power and strength and, just sounding bad at. It sounds like a sloppy demo guitar, like me banging here my wooden table. And if that gives you gigs, you're right in for a treat with this album. But if you want something more powerful and more of an impact, then this is not an album you want to go for here. And before you start judging, like, hey, this guy just doesn't understand reviewing black metal of the rawer kind, I really like when raw black metal is executed properly. Whether we're talking about some old French black metal like Mutilation or Norwegian band Ildiarn or the like, raw end of black metal really nails it. There are plenty of good examples coming from Portugal, both good and bad, where raw black metal can really mean nice lo-fi production. And by nice I mean brutal as fuck, kind of a shredding guitars and sounding evil and inhuman. And then there are bands which just sound sloppy. Unfortunately, T.O.M.B is definitely leaning towards the sloppier side. So in my opinion, doing a favor for this album would be re-record the whole deal here. Because these riffs, in my opinion, deserve better production. Now when it comes to the actual riffs, they're pretty much hit and miss. There are plenty of parts where it's just all filler, no killer, but there are moments when I really feel like, yeah, these are deserving way better treatment than what the album is giving here. On top of these rather basic, stripped down riffs, there are moments when you are listening to something like a flute here. Maybe it's an artificial one, I really don't know. But it's more of a gimmick rather than, wow, interesting element or annoyance. Also, the field recordings add a layer of interest here, which act like synthesizer or keyboards in the terms of keyboard-driven black metal. I mean, they are not a key element in the music, but they definitely add something to it, like a seasoning of more exotic kind, if you will. Then you have the raw end of raspy black metal treatment, which are quite okay. Nothing spectacular, but they do their job just fine. Now, overall, I would say Terror Winds is a little bit of a hit and miss as an album. There are good parts, but the weak production as well as those filler riffs kind of ruin it a little bit. Definitely worth listening to, but is it worth praising? Not so much. So it's a 6er out of 10 for me. But you decide for yourself. Check out the links provided in the description box, and if you like it, good for you. If you don't, well, too bad. This is Rauta. Take care. Bye bye.